Mousekast podcast, and you know what we mean when we say it's time for some madness, to trim to 1 from 16. Tonight the mind meets the madness, we dive a little deeper every time. Theme parks, cruise ships, and travel, if you don't listen it's a crime. Tonight is delicious food, the restaurants where we choose to eat, and we eliminate them head to head. 16 options to 1 is no easy feat. Tonight is delicious food, the restaurants where we choose to eat, and we eliminate them head to head. 16 options to 1 is no easy feat. Throughout the month this will occur, a different topic every week. Hotels and the theme parks remain to give you a little sneak peek. Tonight,
Hello and welcome. This is Mousekast, the podcast where the mind meets the magic. You've joined us for episode 63. And I'll tell you what, folks, we still have the madness around here. Mousekast madness is running wild. Last week, we had our top 32 attractions, and we narrowed it all the way down to one winner. Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. You are the Mousekast 2025 number 1 attraction in the Where the Mind Meets the Madness Bracket Challenge. This week, it gets even tougher. We're picking 16, only 16 restaurants, table service restaurants at Walt Disney World, and we're going to narrow them down to 1. If you thought 32 was hard, this is going to be tough. But before we do that, I want to say a huge welcome to Hawk and to Megan, who are with us. Welcome.
Good evening, Chuck.
Yep, it looks like we're going to have a great time. And our special guest host with us, Anne-Marie, Bone, Anne-Marie. Welcome to Mousekast. And are you hungry?
I'm actually not hungry because I just finished eating, but I'm going to be really hungry when we start talking about these restaurants. So.
By the time we get to number 1, I think all of us are going to be starving and wishing we were at whatever restaurant ends up coming out number 1. But before we get to that, though, we do have some news we want to get to first. We got a little bit of news to share. South by Southwest took place earlier this week, and there were several updates and announcements that came out of that. A lot of them updates to existing announcements that we heard out at D23. We saw some new updated renderings and some a little bit more information about Cars Land coming to Frontierland in the Magic Kingdom. We also heard some pretty interesting information on the new Monsters Land coming over to Disney's Hollywood Studios, including a really cool rendering. I don't know if you guys saw the rendering of this lift system. It's really wild. I mean, you if you've seen the movie Monsters Incorporated with the kind of the claw that comes down and grabs the door and takes it up and goes on down, that's almost exactly what the ride system's going to be. It'll come down, grab this series of suspended cars, little seats, kind of look like seats or little baskets, almost like a swing kind of concept. Bring it up, and then off it goes into the attraction itself. It's really kind of fascinating from a load perspective.
It's amazing.
Yeah, Ty says he's not going to do it for both, but we'll see how it goes here. So really kind of amazing bits there. So again, what did you guys think of some of those announcements? And then, by the way, one other out of South by Southwest. We're going to see a new change coming to Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run in May of 2026. Mandalorian and Grogu will be coming to Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. So I'm looking forward to that. Granted, we got a little more than a year to wait for that, but that's going to be awesome. We can't wait.
I know my oldest son is super excited about the Star Wars announcements. I'm excited about the Cars Land announcement because I felt like you had to go to California before, and I feel like we're going to have I'm always going to want to go to Disneyland, but I think it's going to bring that excitement. And for the people who can't get out to California, I'm excited for that for them.
I'm still heartbroken that that's the one thing I think Disney could have cookie cuttered with no resistance. Like if they would have made a exact replica of what they did at Disneyland and Disney World out behind Big Thunder Mountain, I think it would have been untouchable. I think it would have just been the most.
Well, it is interesting. You talk about that. They did. There was, I think, a line I saw somewhere during one of the descriptions that they've tested these ride vehicles, and so it's off road. And they actually tested these special ride vehicles so that it will work.
No,
so
I understand.
That's
I
going to be different.
I'm just not sold on a new concept. We'll see. See how it goes. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And they really nailed Cars Land at Disney. I mean, out at Disneyland, they hit it out of the park. I mean, it is amazing. It's so well themed. So I'm super excited to see what happens, but I'm cautiously optimistic, as they say.
So Hawk is giving us a clue to our next news item here. Flower and Garden Festival is underway, and last week we mentioned the menus, but it's now started. So, and to me, I think this is Epcot's best time of year, maybe even better than Food and Wine, because of it's the whole package that you have with Epcot, with all of the decor, like what you're seeing behind Talk right now, and the flowers that line the lake there at Future World. There we go. Hawk just did a disappearing act, and so, I just think it's a great opportunity. So again, Flower and Garden is heading and starting right now, and going to be going for the next several months.
And it's actually there's quite a few new topiaries this year that are actually very well done. Jen and I had the opportunity to go over last week and walk around and check out some of the stuff on Thursday night. And the crowds are decent, and they're it's pretty steady, but some beautiful stuff. And one interesting tidbit as well this week I thought was interesting. The new express version of Magic Kingdom being able to purchase your one-time lightning lane anytime use little thing for $429 to $449 per person this week sold out for 7 straight days. They have had incredible success with this. I know it's been met with some skepticism, but it is pretty amazing that they're selling out on that already. So it just goes to show that some of these services, you're going to have to pay to play at some level. Still doesn't make a ton of sense to me. I'm with a lot of people that I think if you buy the individual lightning lane, you can still wind up doing a lot of the same things. But hey, if you want to go for the big guns and drop $440 a person, you're working better jobs than I am.
Well, it certainly shows that the interest is there.
It's cheaper than a VIP tour, too. I mean, I think you're getting the people that are in between the VIP tour and the people who are frustrated with the old system and they're wanting something better, but they're not quite ready to pay. And the VIP tours are selling out. Like if you call to book one, they're sold out almost every day. So, I mean, people are spending the money.
Yeah, they are.
Yep. No, definitely true. The other interesting thing going on here in Orlando this week has been team member previews for Epic Universe, and there are reviews and feedback coming out on a variety of sites. And I am telling you, I am so stoked for
We're just over 2 months away. So
some of this stuff, I'm hoping for pass holder previews still to come. We're keeping the fingers crossed, but the reviews of the Dark Ride in Dark Universe are incredible. That's the one I've really seen being talked about more than anything else. They did have an issue with the Stardust Racers this week where they had to break out a crane to help get the vehicle restarted. So they are working out their bumps and bruises, but the nighttime lighting looks amazing. I mean, this park is going to be an absolute astounding place to visit.
Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be an absolute slam dunk and a star. And then one last quick bit of news before we jump to our Sweet 16 here. Daredevil fans, oh, are you loving things right now? He is back, and Daredevil has returned, and it is
couple episodes.
It's one of the most popular streams right now on Disney Plus, and actually is breaking some Disney Plus records for number of downloads, number of streams, everything like that. So Daredevil Born Again, folks, 2 thumbs up. I've personally am waiting just a little bit. I want to get a couple more episodes into it, because generally when I watch these things, I binge watch it and I just go boom right through like 6 episodes. So I'm waiting just a touch for it, but it's killing me because all I'm hearing is people going, "Wow, it's awesome."
We're lucky. We have like 4 shows we're trying to binge right now, so we just rotate them out each week.
Yep.
But
so, for you Daredevil fans,
really
he's
good.
back and he is great. Ty says it's an awesome show, and no more spoilers. No more spoilers.
Yep.
But one thing we are not going to spoil is our appetite, because we're talking about the top 16 restaurants at Walt Disney World. And I just got to say, first of all, huge thank you. Anne-Marie and I put together this list. And we're going to, if we have time at the end, we're going to talk about, very much like the NCAA tournament, the last 4 in, and then also all the ones that didn't make it. We're going to talk about the ones whose bubble were burst and we didn't make the top 16, because there are a ton of really great table restaurants that just didn't make it. But we said we were doing 16, and 16 it is. But in some respects, and Hawk's going to get ready to pull up the bracket for us now, we do have to talk about number 17, because really it's kind of in a class by itself.
It's number
and
one.
So our number 1 restaurant by default, because it really just is in a class by itself, is Victoria and Albert's, because it's absolutely amazing. It is a fantastic restaurant. And so, we just said, look, there's no way that we can do Victoria and Albert's as part of the 16. It's Disney's 5-star restaurant. Nothing else compares to Victoria and Albert's. Yes, it is quite expensive. It is a very expensive restaurant to go to, and even more expensive if you do things like the chef's table, which is, I understand, incredible. I think, Anne-Marie, you've had that opportunity?
We did not do the chef's table, we were there on our actual 20th anniversary. We did the wine pairing, the coffee maker, which looked like a chemistry, experiment coming out. When your bill comes in a big box, you're at a special place. It's amazing. It's amazing. We will be back.
Yeah, it is an amazing restaurant. And again, it's the class. It's everything that we're about to talk about is going to be measured against Victoria and Albert.
Every plate and even the forks for each course, and it's redesigned, and they get rid of the plates after each seasonal course. So you will never get the same, literally, I don't mean the plate of food. You will never get the same physical plate again. The only way to get it is if you go to one of the shops, where they sell in the Orlando area. That's the only way to get it. You will never get the same bowl again. It's all designed and part of the art of your experience. It's an experience of its own. And I don't know how many like world-renowned restaurants a lot of our, listeners or, us have been to. I've only been to a few like truly world-renowned restaurants like La Tour d'Argent in Paris. And I mean, I thought it outdid that. I mean, so.
Yeah, again, it's one of, if I remember correctly, it's like one of the only 5 stars in all of Central Florida. It may be the only 5 star.
I think it's the only one.
The only one in Central Florida. So that folks, that tells you just what at a level Disney dining gets to potentially when it comes to restaurants like Victoria and Albert's. So Victoria and Albert's, you are our number 1 because you're in a class by itself. So now we're really going to get to our top 16. So we start the bracket. And we're starting off with a pair of princesses going head to head. It's Cinderella's Royal Table going up against Akershus Banquet Hall. All right, so Hawk, I'm wondering if he just gave away his vote because his background has changed there. So Hawk, take us away.
I do, and I will say for a couple of reasons and one is going to surprise you. One, obviously, the opportunity to be able to dine in the castle, I think, is a magical experience for anyone to be able to do at least one time. And again, one of the things that I think is super important as we go through this is understand that we're not necessarily picking just on food quality. We're not just necessarily picking from our own personal perspectives, but just the overall of what we think may be the best experience overall for someone coming in to experience Disney. That's the way I look at it. I want to try to give my view based on what I think you're going to be able to enjoy as a guest. So Cinderella's Royal Table gives you the opportunity to dine in the castle. The price is very high, and I will be honest that both times I have tried it there, I have not felt it was actually worth the money for the food, but it is worth the money for the experience. And I think that is something at Disney you need to kind of set your expectation with, that quite often you're paying for a combination of a meal and an experience. And as you need to remember to combine that in when you see the bill at the end, because it may not feel like that quality of food. But the other thing about Cinderella's Royal Table that I find amazing actually has the best coffee I've had on Disney property. And it's the only place you can get the kind of coffee that they have, and they bring it in exclusively to that restaurant. Don't know what kind of coffee it was, but it was the only time I have truly enjoyed a very amazing, freshly brewed cup of coffee at Disney World. And I asked the manager, and he refused to give away his secret, but he said it was the only place on Disney property that had it. It's a win for me. If I can get a good cup of coffee, I'm going with Cinderella's Royal Table.
Well, Stephanie Blackburn apparently agrees with you. She says Cinderella for sure. And Anne-Marie, you're smiling there. Tell me what you think.
Well, Stephanie's a dear friend, and I can't disagree with a friend. And Cinderella's Royal Table, the first time I brought all three boys was on my 34th birthday. And I got to tell you, when you hand an 18-month-old, a 3-year-old, and a 7-year-old swords, it's got to be number one, because at the end of the dining, they got their little swords, and I just finished eating, and I was like, oh my Lord. But the food, the experience, I mean, so many people go there. I know I have several friends that have actually been proposed to in the castle and at Cinderella's Royal Table afterwards. Akershus, I think, does have a strong running because it has different food offerings, and it's easy to get into. And I think it kind of gets a bad rap, but I think it has a really great offering. So I think it's fair to put it up against Cinderella's Royal Table, but you're in the castle, and there's nothing, you just can't, exchange that for anything.
Alrighty. So Megan, what do you think?
I have to agree. First of all, if we were just doing food alone, and of course Hawk made it clear that we can't because this is Disney, so you're talking about experience. If it were just on food, I'd go the other way. I'd pick Akershus because food-wise, like Anne-Marie said, they have some different offerings. It's not just your basic food, which I appreciate, but you're eating in the castle, that hands down. And while I have not eaten at Cinderella's in a while, and I don't remember having the coffee, I don't know that I'd pay the price to go back and have really good coffee, but that probably would have put a point on mine as well if I remembered that, because coffee is a big seller, and I do not care for Disney's coffee in general.
Okay.
That morning, it was an amazing treat.
It must be a really good cup of coffee. Okay, so unfortunately, I'm not going to agree with any of you. I know I'm not going to win this one, but I'm actually going to go with Akershus, and here's why. When you look, and Hawk kind of talked about some of those points, Cinderella's Royal Table, or CRT as sometimes it goes by, is very, very expensive. When it comes to restaurants at Walt Disney World, it is in like the top 5. Again, Victoria and Albert's far and away the most expensive, but once you get outside of that, CRT really kind of gets up there. What you get for CRT versus what you get for Akershus. I think that in some respects, when you look at the experience and the value of that experience, meaning how much you pay for it, I think that calculus personally leans towards Akershus better. I agree. The food at Akershus, I think, is far better than Cinderella's Royal Table. If you've never had Norwegian kotkake, and for those folks in Norway, I'm sure I just butchered that horribly, but I will tell you, it's essentially meat cake. It's Norwegian version of meatloaf. But I've had the kotkake at Akershus a couple of times, and it is fantastic. And rice cream, you can get rice cream in Norway. If you've never had rice cream in Norway, go get it right now. It's really, really good, but it's even better over in Akershus. So I'm going to be the outlier, and I'm actually going to say Akershus, but I am in the minority, which means Cinderella's Royal Table, you just advanced to the round of 8. Okay, so next up, we're heading down here. Tiffin's versus Beaches and Cream, another really, really, frankly, a really tough matchup. And I'm going to actually start this one out. And I'm going with the underdog, guys. Beaches and Cream. I mean, come on. You can't get any better than a kitchen sink or a No Way Jose. And oh, by the way, let's also talk about the burgers and all of the food that they have. To me, Beaches and Cream is the heart of the beach club. In addition to, of course, Stormalong Bay, which is something we didn't mention in the news. Stormalong Bay undergoing a massive renovation right now. We'll see more about that coming in the near future, but some pictures came out today. Stormalong Bay, a huge renovation going on. But nevertheless, Beaches and Cream, in my opinion, is a fantastic restaurant. Tiffin's is really good over at Animal Kingdom. It is fine dining. And when you're looking for fine dining, and that's your measurement is fine dining, outside of Victoria and Albert's, Tiffin's may be your top option in all of Walt Disney World, to be honest. It's really, really good fine dining. But for me, and I think, again, we're going back to the value and the experience, I think Beaches and Cream is far and away, I think, the choice here. All right, Hawk.
Well, I gotta agree with you, Chuck. Beaches and Cream holds a very special place in mine and my daughter's heart for one of our first dining experiences at Disney outside the parks. It was one of the first restaurants we went to, and we just fell in love with it. The old place was a favorite, and I will be the first to admit. And this is actually a photo of the last night that the old location was opened, and we were the last 2 people in the restaurant. And that's the closing staff of that old location the night we closed. And they actually let my daughter unplug the jukebox at the end of the night. But that being said, probably dollar for dollar, one of the most affordable meals at Disney for given what you're able to get out of it. It's a very affordable. It's a scale above quick service, in my opinion. The tomato soup and grilled cheese, amazing, especially on a cooler, rainy day. The ability to get the kitchen sink, come on, you have to fork up the money, do it once. It's not necessarily delicious. It's just the most unique dessert you'll ever have. But it's worth the experience for sure.
Hey, Hawk, is that the voice of experience talking there?
It is. And Tiffin's, to your point, is an amazing experience. I'll say that if they switch the location of that and another restaurant on our list tonight, it may have edged out Beaches and Cream. But due to the location of Tiffin's and the feel in the restaurant, it's just not quite enough to bring me over the top and take Beaches and Cream out for me. So Beaches and Cream, I'm with you, Chuck. It's the underdog on this one.
All righty. So Megan, what do you think? Are we going for a No Way Jose, or are we heading over to Tiffin's for some shrimp and grits?
I'm going to go with Tiffin's on this one. And experience-wise, I agree with both of you. Beaches and Cream is hard to beat. However, first of all, I personally have had some inconsistent food at Beaches and Cream, so that not definitely colors my opinion. My other reason for this, it's not so much for me that Tiffin's beats Beaches and Cream. It's that Beaches and Cream kind of beats itself here, like we see sometimes with the basketball tournament. And when you're pushing Beaches and Cream and ice cream, I'm expecting a little bit more than store-bought ice cream. It's just the quality of the ice cream is not what I'm looking for in some place that, you know, it is pushing that as its thing. So for me, it's not so much that Tiffin's is better than and like definitely beats out Beaches and Cream. It's that for me, Beaches and Cream falls short on a couple of really key things. And so I just can't vote for it here.
Okay. So, Anne-Marie, we've got 2 for Beaches and Cream, 1 for Tiffin's. We may be headed towards a tiebreaker. It all comes down to you first.
Okay, I love fine dining. Like, I love fine dining. I love fancy food. I love dressing up. Tiffin's has very delicious food. It's fine dining. It's everything I love. But when I'm at Disney World, I want to be fun. Like, I've got my Victoria and Albert's, and I don't care if it's store-bought ice cream. It's huge, and the lights go off, and it's a scene, and like you don't get that experience at an ice cream shop in, you know, Frisco, Texas, or, you know, wherever you live. And I was explaining the experience to a coworker the other day, and she's like, "Oh, that sounds fun." And it is fun. And when your kids that you've been threatening all day to behave, and then they see that you treat them to this like gargantuous bowl of ice cream with way too many calories, like, it's Beaches and Cream all the way for me.
Okay, so actually, you know what? I think we know why Anne-Marie really wants Beaches and Cream, because essentially it's a Mickey bar on crack.
It is. It's all my Mickey bars.
It's all the Mickey bars, all into one bowl. There we go. Beaches and Cream.
And I don't mind sharing it because it's too much for just me.
Beaches and Cream, you have advanced to the next round. Okay, number 3. Another pair of really good restaurants. We have Narcoossee's going up against the Yak and Yeti. So, Anne-Marie, we'll let you start this one out.
Okay, love Narcoossee's. That's where I went to dinner after the sword fight in the morning at Cinderella's Royal Table on my birthday. I got to go with Yak and Yeti because of just a more diversified, intriguing. Narcoossee's is amazing. The view, and you can watch the fireworks on the, on the patio. I can't think right now. But like the location too is great. You're right there on the water, but the diversity of the menu at Yak and Yeti for sure.
All righty. So we got 1 for the Yak and Yeti. Megan?
I'm going to agree pretty much on everything that Anne-Marie just said. Yak and Yeti for me because of the menu. It's the place where for my family, we can go and everybody is happy and everybody's comfortable there. Narcoossee's is really good food. And with the exception of my vote for Tiffin's, my problem with a lot of fine dining is that it's not, like Anne-Marie said with the last group, it's not Disney to me. And it feels like something you could find somewhere else. And so Narcoossee's kind of falls in, obviously with the view of fireworks notwithstanding. So Yak and Yeti is my choice here as well.
All righty, that's 2 for Yak and Yeti. And Hawk, I'm getting the sense that maybe you're in agreement. I'm not sure why.
100%. One of the things I love about Yak and Yeti is you can walk in and sit at the bar. There's other restaurants you can do that as well, but you don't have to have a reservation if there's seating available at the Yak. And you can just run in and grab one of the stools at the bar and sit down, enjoy a nice meal. The variety of food is incredible there, from burgers to, Asian dishes. They've got a great variety of food. And it's not everyday theme park food that you're getting in there either, which I think, it's just a nice twist, especially at Animal Kingdom where, it's either kind of quick service or Tiffin's, and Yak and Yeti like really kind of meets in the middle at an affordable point, but great quality food. So I think it's a great place to get in. You can sit upstairs. The theming in the restaurant's great. The location is back kind of out of the way. It's often not totally full, so they can accommodate walk-ins quite often. And if you have the Landry's card, you can get right in without a reservation as well, which is a nice kind of bonus for those that do have the Landry's card. I got to go with Yak and Yeti as well.
All right, so I got to throw a little love for Narcoossee's here. It is a wonderful restaurant, and for what many have already said, the walkway, kind of the little boardwalk area around, wonderful viewing of fireworks. And Narcoossee's itself has an amazing menu. It changes frequently. I do have to tell a very quick Narcoossee's story. And we talk about birthdays, and actually, Anne Marie, it's a birthday story. I was there, 40th birthday at Narcoossee's, and yes, Hawk, that was before they built Walt Disney World. I actually had my 40th birthday at Narcoossee's because I'm that old. So, but we were there, and I got surf and turf, and my daughter, who at the time was younger, probably not even 10 years old or something like that, or maybe 10, 11, somewhere in there, but she never had lobster before, and so I let her try lobster. I said, "Here you go, try some lobster." And she said, "That's great. Needs ketchup." And I'll always have that memory of Narcoossee's. And I told the waiter that, I said, "Tell the chef that apparently, the lobster's not bad, but apparently it needs ketchup." And the server just busted out laughing, and I think he ended up telling the staff, and behind they had a big laugh about it and everything like that. But that being said, it's hard to find good Asian food at Walt Disney World, frankly. It really is.
Good Asian food in Florida.
Well, okay, we're talking about Florida. We're at Walt Disney World. It's in a world among itself. We're not in Florida anymore. And when it comes to Asian food at Walt Disney World, I don't know that you get much better than the Yak and Yeti. It is truly good quality Asian food, unlike other Asian restaurants that are found maybe over in Epcot. We will have another, in fact, you can see it on our list here. We're going to talk about another Asian restaurant here in a little bit. But when it comes to good Asian food, there are few options widespread for Asian food. And so for that point, I am actually agreeing. We have a slam dunk on this. Yak and Yeti, you have made it to the next round. We are heading to number 4. Another pair. God, we got a lot of heavyweights. Via Napoli going up against Yachtsman Steakhouse. So let's see here. Hawk, we'll start out with you this time. Via Napoli or Yachtsman?
As much as I enjoy Via Napoli, I got to give the edge to Yachtsman on this. I'm not a huge fine dining person either. Usually I'm very casual dining and like to enjoy the fun, but every now and then it's nice to get out and have a really nice meal. And they do a very good job on their steaks, which ironically a lot of places at Disney do not. It's very hard to find good steaks, and some would say I've just been lucky the times I've been there and been able to enjoy it. Others would say that, it's consistent. I've been lucky and blessed. I don't believe any steakhouse is overly consistent all the time, with the exception of the very rare few that I've enjoyed. They are not generally consistent at Disney. I have found that to be true. But I would still give Yachtsman the edge over Via Napoli in this case.
And apparently, Mousekast guest host Natalie Hogan agrees with you. She says Yachtsman has the best steak dinner. Anne Marie, what do you think?
Keep in mind, I'm from Boston, so battling Italian food being from Boston is going to be a tough road to hoe.
Well, that's true.
So.
I think Natalie and Hawk need to come to Texas and have some real good steaks. I think the Yachtsman for Disney World has a really good steak. I think it's a great steakhouse. And if you're in the mood for steak and you're at Disney World, I think the Yachtsman is where you should go. I like the pizza experience. I like feeling like I'm in Italy. I like the ambiance. I'm in Texas. So I got to go with Via Napoli on this one.
Yeah, I actually am agreeing with Anne-Marie here. Yachtsman, it's exactly what Anne-Marie also said. I agree. There are some others that are some different steak places at Disney that have gotten the reputation for being the best steak, and I don't agree with it at all. I think Yachtsman really is the best steak option at Walt Disney World. And oh, by the way, you also have me at roasted garlic butter. Oh, yeah. If you've had the roasted garlic, oh, man. That alone is, in some respects, is worth the price of admission. I mean, that roasted garlic butter is unreal. But Via Napoli, though, again, we're talking about the whole experience. Via Napoli is that whole experience. It's the whole package put together. You have, the three brick ovens there named after the various volcanoes in Italy. You have the bread and the pizza base that has been built using, I believe it's flour that is sent directly from Naples and water that comes from, I think, New York, which is one reason why New York pizza is so good compared to Sicilian pizza, because the water salinity and the water mix-up, the chemistry is the same. So they import the flour from Italy, they import the water from New York because it is the same, chemically the same water, and you put all that together, and it is an amazing, amazing experience. So for me, Via Napoli is one of those gotta-go-tos almost every trip. All right, Megan, round us out. What do you think?
I'm also going with Via Napoli. I appreciate the fact that you can get more than just like the basic toppings on your pizza. You can be a little bit more adventurous. You can do something different. And it's certainly not, even if it's not necessarily the best pizza that we've ever had, if we're going outside of Disney, it's not theme park pizza, which I appreciate. And they also have really good, moving away from pizza, they have really good Italian dishes, period. They have some excellent seafood dishes at different times. And yeah, we love Via Napoli, and that's,
there we go. Okay, so Via Napoli, you have advanced, and we're going to move slightly up the way. Oh, here we go, the dreaded 5-12 matchup. For those who follow the brackets and basketball, they know about the 5-12 matchup, and we've got a great 5-12 here. Artist Point over at Wilderness Lodge going up against the Polynesians' Ohana. Megan, start us off.
Okay, well, I'm probably going to break Natalie's heart because I know how much she loves Lilo and Stitch, but I'm going with Artist Point. You don't get to see the Grumpy and Dopey and the Evil Queen. Like, what other character meal right now are we getting where we're meeting villains? The villains aren't anywhere right now. I mean, we know that Villains Land is coming, but Artist Point, the character experience, the decor in there is fantastic. It's very well themed. And again, their menu, if you're looking at the food, that is not theme park food. It is a different level of food. Now, again, inconsistency sometimes with, the execution there. But the offerings on that menu are varied and really just a really great experience, especially again for a character meal. A lot of times that's where we talk about the value is in the experience and not the food, but the food over at Artist Point is also very, very good.
All righty, so there's one for Artist Point. Anne-Marie, she referenced it. Are you going with Lilo and Stitch, Mickey Mouse and Goofy and Donald? Or are you going with the Seven Dwarfs and the Evil Queen? It's a pair of character meals matching up.
I will say for Ohana, I prefer it at dinner time. I prefer Ohana for dinner time. And some of that is, anyone who knows me, we go to Aulani a lot. So I do my Lilo and Stitch breakfast at Aulani. But 7 years ago tonight, actually, I was having dinner at Artist Point with my boys. It came up in my memory pictures. And I mean, just the artistry of the food and the uniqueness of it. And the evil queen. My middle son asked her if she was single, and just the way she was in character and answered, and for the overall experience, the uniqueness of the food, the artistry there. I get that fine dining uniqueness there with the character, fun, and experience. And like Megan just said, the ambiance, it's the whole package. It's a fantastic place. I love Polynesian food. I do love Ohana. This is hard for me, but it's Artist Point.
All right, that's 2 for Artist Point. Hawk. Most
So-
things you might have a different opinion.
I gotta say, I actually really, really, really enjoy going to breakfast at Ohana, but I am not a fan of the dinner. So I don't enjoy dinner over there. I have gone to Artist Point several times, and the first couple of visits we had, I found the food to be exceptionally salty. And it was really tough the first couple times I went. And I would have said Ohana hands down. But recently, being able to have gone a couple more times, I would have to agree with everyone else. The character interaction there is just so unique in and of itself. You can see the lighting, the ambiance, the atmosphere in the dining room. The food is interestingly served and done, especially the dessert portion. And I really enjoy both, but I'm going to agree with the ladies on this one that Artist Point, and it's in my favorite resort. So Wilderness Lodge is just an amazing place to begin with. So if I can stay in the room and enjoy Artist Point, I'm in.
All right, so Artist Point gets 3 votes. I'm actually going to pick the underdog here. I am going for Ohana, and it's 4 little words: meat on a stick. What else do you want? I mean, you can't go wrong with meat on a stick. And I do love Ohana breakfast too. It's great. It's served family style, and again, you get pog juice. If you've never had pog juice, get over to the Polynesian right now. Stop watching us now. Go Polynesian. Get pog juice. It's amazing. But unfortunately, I am in the minority. So Artist Point, you are moving on. Number 6. All right, here we go. Another challenging matchup. Topolino's against Tepaneto. All right, so Hawk, go for it.
Really? You're going to dump this right on me? All right, so
I have a feeling I know where you're headed on
yeah,
this one.
I'm going straight to Topolino's all day, every day. If we could justify the expense, I would eat breakfast at Topolino's every day of the week. The food is amazing. The roasted potatoes are perhaps the best I've ever had in a breakfast situation. They're so well prepared. The dinner is also amazing. The overall experience, obviously, characters are an addition in the morning for the breakfast. Here's one of the things I will caveat, though, that also brings Topolino's to an exceptional level, in my opinion. There are very few places, and I understand, ironically, its competitor in this case is also one, where you can step outside the dining room and get an amazing view of the fireworks, or stand on a rooftop and look at fireworks coming out at Disney. There's very few places you can enjoy. And being at Topolino's and being able to go step outside and have the fireworks music and sound pumped in, and then stand out on that deck and be able to watch it going on, or just enjoy the views of Tower of Terror and the Skyliner riding by, and seeing Epcot in the distance, and all these different things you can enjoy at those restaurants. It's not just always the dining room. It's the view and the lounge area, and being able to sit outside with a beverage. Those are all great additional aspects that make restaurant experiences great for you and your family, especially the waiting area. So being able to wait outside at Topolino's is a very nice added bonus as well. because it feels like a comfortable waiting area, where some places you're very cramped. And, if you've ever stood at Chef Mickey's waiting for your table, it's not the most enjoyable experience around there. You run for the souvenir shops and the contemporary as fast as you can and hope you get that text. So, Topolino's just really is the full package for me. And I do believe it is darn close to one of the, if not one of the top 5 dining experiences in Disney World. So,
all righty. So we have one for Topolino's. I'm going to jump in on this one. Topolino's is a great restaurant, but they don't have a cook at your table. Yes, I know you can get Japanese hibachi. There's all sorts of Japanese steakhouses all over the place, but where else except in Japan can you have teppan in Japan? Teppan is absolutely incredible, and the chefs there are top-notch. When you talk about the ones who know how to put on the show, these are the ones that are the top of the list. They will outdo you go to any Japanese steakhouse in your hometown, anywhere. These folks are far better. The service is amazing, and everything is just flat out fresh and incredible. And where else, again, if we're looking for experience, Teppan hands down is probably one of the best dining experiences there, because you get a whole show out of it. And where else can you try to catch shrimp in your mouth? I mean, come on, seriously? So I'm going with Teppan. All right, Anne-Marie?
Japanese is something I share with my boys. My husband will eat it, but my boys love it. And when my husband travels, we always go Japanese, and Japanese has my heart. And it's one of the few places my kids will eat everything, including vegetables. And again, like you said, the show there, the cooks, it's to a level that you don't get. Like I've told people to go dine there, and they're like, it's hibachi. It's Disney hibachi. It's done to that Disney level and that, curated service. So for service, and you don't have the view of the fireworks, but for service and for actually being different while being very similar but still being different, Teppan.
All right, here we go. So we've got 1 for Topolino's, 2 for Teppan. Megan, are we headed for a tiebreaker here? What do you think?
I think we're gonna have to phone a friend or something to break this tie, because I'm going Topolino's.
Natalie's already voted Topolino's too, just to point it out in the chat.
No, wait a minute now. We're already getting, Priscilla has come in. Mousekast host Priscilla says Teppan, hands down. Natalie says Topolino's Terrace, hands down.
So we're 3
Folks out there, we've got 2 and 2. Help us break the tie.
Megan,
we need to determine this.
The reasons because I do enjoy Teppan. I enjoy it. However, when it's busy, it gets really loud in there. And sometimes if you're paired with another party at the table, that can affect your own dining experience. So for those 2 reasons, outside of the fact that I just love the food. Oh my gosh, the food at Topolino's. The first time I ever ate there was on a girlfriend's trip. We went at 9:30 at night. Some people got dinner. Some of us got just dessert and coffee. It was incredible. Riviera Resort in general, anytime that I can get over there, I can go to Le Petit Cafe, which is where I think the best coffee on property is, and about the only Disney coffee I'll drink. And if you're there at night, you can go walk through the fountain area where the mosaics of Peter Pan and Rapunzel are.
Absolutely beautiful.
That atmosphere and that ambiance, hands down, Topolino's, I agree with Hawk. It's top 5.
All right. So folks, keep listening here, or if you're watching us either on Facebook or on our YouTube page right now, we've had some other folks commenting earlier. So real quickly, we're going to actually move on to number 7. We'll do Chef Mickey's versus Space 220 while we wait and see if we get a few more comments to help us break this tie. So in the meantime, we're going to skip ahead to our 7-10 matchup. And Megan, we'll start with you. It's Chef Mickey's against Space 220.
Well, I can eat here on Earth in a really loud restaurant with classic characters, or I can be shot into space and eat amongst the planets. So just stick me in that elevator. I'm headed to Space 220.
All righty. So she is heading up in a very, very long and physically unrealistic elevator experience. All right, Hawk, what do you think there? Are you shooting for the stars, or are you meeting the Fab Five? And folks, again, while you're watching and listening, remember, we still need your help. Topolino's or Tepanato, help us break this tie.
All right. So me personally, I think Chef Mickey's is incredibly overrated. It's just not. It was a amazing experience once on my first visit to Disney. I'm going to be honest, though. I think Space 220 is equally overrated. So this is a tough one for me. I will say the meal I had at Space 220, I had the duck. It was one of the best duck dishes I've ever had. So the food quality was phenomenal. The experience is different going up there. Again, one of those Disney experiences that may be worth the money to do once. I don't think you're. Oh, Stephanie said Topolino's, by the way. So looks like you guys are getting rolled out of move that Topolino's over, Mr. Chuck. But
we're going to give him another minute here. We're going to give him another minute. We're going to give a last call.
Listen to this. As you're posting on your okay. But Space 220, I think, was a very unique experience. It's very neat to go up and do once. We had some issues with trying to get the order we wanted. My daughter just wanted an extra side of mac and cheese, and they actually gave us a lot of problems about getting a side of mac and cheese. They would not do it. They wanted us to we offered to pay an entree price, $70, flat rate, adult, whatever the meal price was at the time, to get a side of mac and cheese, and they said no. They would not do it. And so it was the first time I had ever had that kind of experience. So that itself left a little bit of a bad taste in our mouth with that experience. It is a third-party restaurant. It is not owned by Disney. It is run by different management as a result. So just be advised of that. But the experience up there was really cool. The food was very good. My fiance had steak that day. She really enjoyed the steak. My daughter did enjoy the food she had. She just wanted some mac and cheese with it. But I would have to go with Space 220.
All righty, Anne-Marie.
I'm surprised you had the issue with the macaroni and cheese, because we ordered that for my middle son and had no problem. And they brought him an entree side because
you may have eaten there after us, because I have a funny feeling after the stink we made that day, they may have resolved that situation.
This would have been September of 23 but we had no issue. They brought it out. Yeah, it was no issue.
Good. That's good to hear, because we were a one and done because of the treatment we got that day. We won't be going back.
Interesting.
Chef.
I love Chef Mickey's. A lot of people say that they don't love the food. I love the experience. I love, one of our favorite things to do is to tell Donald Duck that he's our favorite. And then he'll, do a thing to Mickey Mouse and stuff. And just like interacting with the characters is so fun. So this is hard for me, but and I think the food at Chef Mickey's has really improved, but it's still, buffet family style. Space 220, you get to see the food growing. You get to watch the dog in space. It's just the ambiance. The food is really good. I don't like that it's a pre-done. You have to get, the 3 courses, but the food is delicious. We've had great service there. So Space 220.
And I'm going to make it a sweep. It's Space 220 all the way. Look, Mickey, Minnie, and all the gang, Fab Five, we love you. We love you so much, but there are other great places and better places to meet Mickey and the Fab Five and better ways to do that than at Chef Mickey's. We've all commented at great length on this show over the last year plus about some of the challenges of Chef Mickey's. And remember Space 220. There's the secret of Space 220. There's not just a restaurant there. There's also the lounge. And you get to have a very similar experience. Now, you might not be right up against the window, but you still see a lot of what's going on. And in some respects, I like it better because you get a little bit of a further back bit. And I will tell you, I had those the shrimp tacos there, and oh my gosh, they were amazing. And some of the adult drinks that are there. So for me, it is Space 220 hands down. You have advanced to the next round. And yes, okay, we admit defeat. Topolino's, you've advanced as well. Okay, so we are looking for our 8-9 matchup. This is our last matchup of the first round, and another pair of heavyweights, Cali Grill going up against Sanaa. So I'm actually going to start this one out. And this is tough because essentially you have California Grill and all that California Grill brings with you when it comes to experience. No better place to watch fireworks than at California Grill and all of that. But then you have got bread service at Sanaa. I mean, not saying forget about, but I mean, the restaurant, like the entrees are amazing, but just the bread service, I mean, seriously, is amazing. But if I'm looking at the whole experience, though, I'm going California Grill. You get fine dining, but you also, especially if you can swing an ADR during that fireworks time, California Grill is absolutely top notch. Anne-Marie?
Everything you said, California Grill.
All righty. And Megan?
I'm going to stand alone here. I'm going with Sanaa. I personally do not enjoy watching the Magic Kingdom fireworks from anywhere at the Contemporary. I've done it all. It's not my thing. So the fireworks over there don't entice me. Sanaa being right on the savannah, having the animals right outside, the bread service, and their food. I love Sanaa's food. Honestly, Sanaa's probably my favorite restaurant and on all of property. But I think you get a really unique experience there with the animals right outside the glass. And that's the experience that I prefer of the two.
All righty. Hawk, I think we know where you're heading.
I mean, fireworks, you get the beauty of seeing the Magic Kingdom. You can enjoy it. I don't love the fact that they've gone to the prefix menu. I don't love that at California Grill. It's a great place, but I'm with Megan. You got to go to Sanaa. The bread service off the chain, and to be able to sit and dine. And this is a caveat with Sanaa. Try to have lunch or an early dinner so you can see the animals, because it is such an amazing experience while you're there, seeing a giraffe come up, seeing the animals out on the safari basically in front of you. It's an amazing experience. That resort's incredible. My comment earlier when it came to Tiffin's, if Tiffin's food was in Sanaa's location, that would be perhaps the most amazing restaurant on Disney property. It would be in the top 2 that I can think of, aside from Victoria and Albert's. But I'm going with Sanaa, so we got another tie.
We got another tiebreaker on our hands here. Now, we've already had one vote from Ty, who says California Grill. So we're going to give it a little bit of time here. And then, Ty also says the sushi at Cali is amazing. Anybody else there, if you're listening and watching right now, you tell us in the chat, either on the Facebook chat or the YouTube chat, is it California Grill or is it Sanaa? We're going to jump past because California Grill will go up against Cinderella's Roll table number 1. So we're going to jump down to our bottom matchup first, our number 2 versus number 10. Christian, this is a pair of upsets here. Space 220 versus Beaches and Cream. So again, we've already kind of talked a lot about them. So Priscilla says Sanaa, so we have a tie. We need more votes there for that tiebreaker. Alrighty, so Megan, what do you think? Space 220 or Beaches and Cream?
I'm going to go Beaches and Cream for the experience, and because I enjoy Space 220, but it's like a once every 10 trips or so for me. Beaches
All right, Anne-Marie.
Ice cream, Beaches and Cream.
All righty, Hawk.
Oh, you know it. You know
Beaches and Cream. And I've got to agree. Again, I like Space 220. I think Space 220 is a great experience, but if we're talking about experiences, we're going Beaches and Cream. Okay, let's see here. Have we had any other? Nope. Folks, comment real quickly. California Grill or Sanaa? We have a tiebreaker, and we need your help. All right, in the meantime, we are jumping over to Topolino's versus Yak and Yeti. Hawk, I think I know where you're going on this.
Topolino's.
Yep. And I got to agree, between the two of them, Topolino's.
Favorites against me in the next round. I hate you, Chuck.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, I have to agree. But if I'm going to choose between Topolino's and Yak and Yeti, I'm going Topolino's. Anne-Marie?
Yak and Yeti.
Uh-oh. Megan?
Topolino's.
Oh, we almost had a double tiebreaker here. But Topolino's, you advance to the next round. Okay. Artist
Natalie
point.
said
Natalie chimed in. There we go.
Natalie says Sanaa, so there we go. Okay, I think we've got it. All right. Sanaa, where are you? Sanaa is right here. Sanaa, you are up. All right, we will go back and continue working from bottom to top. Artist point versus Viennapoli, and I'm going to start this one out, and it's Viennapoli hands down. Viennapoli hands down. Hawk?
Artist point.
Oh, all right. Anne-Marie?
Artist point.
Megan?
Artist point.
Oh, come on. Come on. All right, artist point. You have advanced. And finally, we have CRT versus Sanaa. Megan?
This one's hard for me because I don't know if you can beat the experience of eating in the cat. Like, that's quintessential Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but Sanaa has all the pieces. It's got the food and the experience. I'm going with Sanaa.
All righty. Hawk?
Sanaa.
Yeah, I got to agree. This is where CRT really, I think, finally takes the falls away. It's Sanaa. Anne-Marie?
Cinderella's Royal Table, the castle.
Oh, but Sanaa gets 3. Okay, so here we go. We're down to our final 4. So your final 4, Sanaa, Artist Point, Topolino's, and Beaches and Cream. Let's do something really interesting here. Sanaa, Disney's Animal Kingdom Resort. Artist Point, Wilderness Lodge Resort. Topolino's, another resort restaurant. Beaches and Cream, a resort restaurant. Notice a theme there. No theme park restaurant advances at all to our final 4. Okay.
Is anyone shocked by that?
I don't think anybody should be shocked at that at all, but just go ahead and make that note now. All righty, here we go. And Natalie disagrees. She says CRT, but unfortunately it is Sanaa. All righty, Hawk, here we go. I'm going to be mean to you. It's Artist Point and Sanaa. Here we go.
I got to take Sanaa in this one.
All right, Anne-Marie.
Artist Point.
Megan.
Sanaa.
Uh-oh. Because now I think we are in another tiebreaker because I am going Artist Point. So help us out, folks. Natalie just said Artist Point. Help us out. Uh-oh. Ty also says Artist Point. Any last calls? I think Artist Point is going to be our winner for this round. Artist Point, you have moved to the finals. All right. Topolino's and Beaches and Cream. And I'm going to start this out. And Hawk, your Topolino craze comes to an end. It's Beaches and Cream. Hawk, what do you think?
Topolino's. The overall experience.
You've got a Beaches and Cream logo behind you, dude. I mean, come on.
Listen.
Not logo, but the picture behind you.
Beaches and Cream is my all-time favorite Disney restaurant.
But then you should be voting Beaches and Cream.
But taking aside my personal experience.
I'm trying, folks. I'm trying.
Speaking to food quality and overall experience, I don't think Topolino's can be beaten in this round. Overall, Topolino's is a better overall experience. It's better food. The novelty of Beaches and Cream is amazing. But if you want to talk about a quality restaurant and best restaurant, at Disney with best opportunity to enjoy fireworks, lounge area, places to relax, and ambiance, you've got to take Topolino's in this one.
All right. Megan?
Topolino's hands down.
Oh, wow. All righty. Anne-Marie, it's up to you. Are we having a tie or are we going?
Beaches and Cream. It's so different from all the other restaurants. There's so many great options. Beaches and Cream. Ice cream.
All right. It's a tiebreaker time. Here we go. So Natalie has said Topolino's. Priscilla says. Oh, yeah. Ty says Beaches. So it is Beaches and Cream. Topolino. I'm sorry.
I'm not crying about
not
this one.
Advance.
Like I said, these are my two favorite restaurants on Disney property, so I'm not crying on either one.
All right, so here it is. Actually, I got to zoom out just a little bit. Here we go. This is the final matchup. From Disney's Wilderness Lodge, I'm doing my sports voice now. From Disney's Wilderness Lodge, Artist Point, and from Disney's Beach Club, Beaches and Cream. All right, Megan, start us off. The matchup.
This is really hard because neither one of these should be in the final, but that's okay.
Sure,
it should be not Topolino's here. I'm going to go with Artist Point because if you're at Disney, the one thing you're only ever going to get at Disney are characters, and Artist Point has characters, and that's what I'm going with.
All right, Anne-Marie, Artist Point or Beaches and Cream?
This is so hard.
Uh-oh, do the Mickey bars fall by the wayside?
I have to go with Artist Point. And like Megan just said, because of the characters and the art of the food. But I'll go to Beaches and Cream afterwards.
All right, so you go to Beaches and Cream. You're selecting Artist Point, but
I'll
dessert
get my
at Beaches and
second
Cream.
dessert once the stomach empties a little.
There we go. All right, Hawk.
All right, I'm going to have to go with Beaches and Cream now because I still think it takes the edge over Artist Point personally. And I will say, there are people that work in Beaches and Cream. There's one that's still there that's been there since the very, very beginning. And that's a pretty strong run in there to work at the same place for that long. And one of the things I do want to touch on real quick is the cast in these places and the waiters and waitresses that work in all these restaurants, because they will make or break your choices when it comes to things like this based on experiences you've had. And Matt at Beaches and Cream, a legacy cast member who's been there a long time, Brian at Beaches and Cream, who's also been there basically from the start of Beaches and Cream, Helena, who used to be there and now works over at Belle's Castle. She does her thing in Magic Kingdom now with Beauty and the Beast and serves over there. But the staff at Beaches and Cream, I think, edges this out. And it is the staff that makes the difference for me in the end. And the best servers I've encountered at Disney, 3 of the 4 of them have worked at Beaches and Cream. So I'm just, from joyous experience, family, memory making, all of that, I'm going to say Beaches and Cream is the better experience.
This is going to be a guys versus girls because I'm going Beaches and Cream as well. I'm looking at the experience and what you can get. Artist Point is truly wonderful, and it has great characters. But Beaches and Cream is that quintessential Disney. It's something you kind of, yes, you can get ice cream anywhere, but you really can't get Beaches and Cream anywhere else. But at Beaches and Cream. And so we have another tiebreaker.
We're losing.
I know Priscilla says, oh, nope.
Clean sweep in the comments.
No, the comments do say Artist Point. So our viewers make the final choice, and they have selected Artist Point as the number 1 table service restaurant at Walt Disney World. And so here you go. Artist Point is your winner.
Success by matchup.
Yeah, it is kind of, that's the thing of the matchup. Now, I want you guys, we've got just a couple of minutes here. Megan, 1 or 2 that weren't on this list and probably should have been.
Ooh, Chico over at Animal Kingdom Lodge. The best duck I've ever had was there. And their sunset wall is to die for.
Anne Marie? One or
Beer
two that should have been on
it's
here.
fun. Beer garden. It's fun. You get a constant show. It's not necessarily the best food, but it's fun.
All right, Hawk. What's a restaurant or two that should have been on here?
For Mike's sake, I'm going to say Liberty Tree, but I think that's the worst restaurant on Disney property.
Co-host, yes, guest host Mike McKee early on said he votes Liberty Tree just for Hawk, but yeah.
He knows that's my least favorite restaurant on Disney property. I had the worst experience I've ever had there. But Liberty Tree was one that probably should have been there. In fairness, a lot of people love it. Priscilla brought up a couple good ones. The Plaza she had mentioned is a surprisingly good place. And the other one I would say that was just on the tip of my tongue, and then I just
Tony's too. Tony's Town Square.
No, not for me.
I love it.
But the other one I was trying to think of, Skipper's Canteen. If you were going to enjoy
That's a good one.
Some unique food with a unique experience, Skipper's Canteen is a great one in Magic Kingdom. I think that's a fun place. The wait staff is great. They really engage with you, and it's a lot of fun.
So mine, I have a couple that I would put on there, but number one, I agree with folks saying the Plaza. We love the Plaza. I think the Plaza is awesome.
Gone.
Yeah, the wave is gone. It is replaced by Steakhouse 71, which is one of the two that I was going to mention. I think in some respects, Steakhouse 71 challenges the Yachtsman for best steak. And also, if you have ever had the red wine demi-glaze mushrooms, get them. Oh my gosh, they're amazing. They're awesome. But the other one that we also love is Rose and Crown over at the UK. We love Rose and Crown. It's really good food. The fish and chips are amazing, of course, and also shepherd's pie and bangers and mash and everything like that. But it's the cast members that are there. We have so much fun talking to cast members at Rose and Crown.
And I'll throw one more in that's a hidden gem. Olivia's. Olivia's is
we love Olivia's.
Breakfast is so good, but their fried chicken is amazing.
Yeah, so great stuff. So what do you all think? I know we've had some mentioning Le Cellier's. Oh, that's an interesting debate for another show. I agree. Steakhouse 71. So if you've been watching, thank you so much, and continue to share in the comments. If you're watching this later on, share on our Facebook page or on the video side of this in the playback version. What are your favorite restaurants? What should have made our 16-team list from the list that we identified? And then what were the ones that should have made it? And if you're listening to our podcast version of this, please share your thoughts in our comments on our Facebook page. I want to say a huge thank you to our guest host, Anne Marie Bone, who was with us tonight, our restaurant expert, sharing her thoughts. And again, thank you for helping us put together this top 16 list. This was tough. Also, a huge thank you to Megan and to Hawk for joining us. And most importantly, thank you for listening. We hope if you were watching live, you had a great time tonight. And we want to see you every Tuesday night at 8:30. We're doing Mousekast live. So be sure to join us next Tuesday. We will continue the Mousekast where the mind meets the madness tournament. Next up, if you thought 16 restaurants was hard, just wait. We're doing the top 8 Disney Deluxe resorts. Ooh, that's going to be hard. But that's for next time on Mousekast. Until next time, we'll see ya.
Mousekast podcast thanks you for listening to our show. When you let the mind meet the magic, it's where the deep thoughts flow. This is where the mind meets the magic.